¿A dónde está papi? 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 ¿A dónde está papi?
Welcome to the Tuesday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Tuesday. How's it going, everybody? Mayhem Hippie, Astro, Heat. I've whispered you a fluffy time. Okay. I am still alive. That's good to hear. Hey, yo, how are you? I'm doing all right. It is Tuesday, and it also happens to be my birthday as well. Yeah, happy 21 again. That's right. Thank you. I appreciate that. Again and again. Yeah, permanently. Thank you, Mayhem Hippie. Permanently 21. Mayhem Hippie giving out 5 tier 1 subs. Jesus. Starting off strong. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Jesus. It's a good day for many reasons. All right, list them out. But wait, there's more. All right. Let's hear all the good stuff. Mayhem Hippie with another 1,000 biddy cheer. Holy yikes. That is wild. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Folks, we will see how much of this. Mayhem is definitely on a roll. Happy birthday. I hope it was a good one with some hugs in there. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Today mostly was done was spent working. But I will have a chill evening and a chill weekend coming up. For one, also my kid got to ride a horse today. That's cool. The UK is reporting the driest winter and spring in 30 years, and we're getting warning of water shortages and hosepipe bans. Oh yeah, no, it's not just the UK, my friend. It's gonna be kind of the general trend. Water shortages, heat waves, and food shortages, so on and so forth. Yep, desertification, all that good stuff. Last night I ended up playing Stray until exactly just over midnight to make sure that I would beat the game on my birthday. And sure enough, almost hitting the 30-minute mark on to Monday, or yesterday, almost hitting the 30-minute mark at midnight. I was able to complete the game Stray. I got to see what exactly happened because I needed to know what happened to our furry little friend. Oh. Get in all the good feels while we can because it's back to reality in a minute. Oh yeah. That's right. So I found out what happened to our little friend. I I don't even know if the cat has a name other than like Stray, unless that's the name of the cat, I guess. But anyways, the point is, it's a bittersweet game. If you haven't played it, I highly recommend you play it. Either get it on Steam, or if you have a PlayStation, you have that option. But I got it for Steam, and I was pretty happy with the game itself. It's very simple, very easy. Very easy to navigate, more or less. There's a little bit of a challenge, but if you're used to it, it's a breeze. It's like it's not a complex puzzle game. A cat has three names. Everyone knows this. That's true. That's true. So yeah, the TLDR is I finished the game. I got the story. I had to know what happened. But it's a wholesome little story, okay? It's a wholesome, bittersweet story. If you haven't played it already, I highly recommend it. Such a good game. Such a good game. I hope they make sequels, and I hope they make a someone was saying on your Discord, someone was saying that they could make a the sequel will have a hopefully a more open world to it, or if there is a sequel, that's how it should be. Skiddadeer, happy birthday. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Hopefully they make like an open world sequel, or at least expand on that idea. I need to pick up Stray again. My kid wants to play Stupid Minecraft on the PS4. My kitten named Ferris Mueller. We call shitting only when he's doing cracked out on catnip. Oh no. That's funny. If not for anything, Heat, you should play the game just for the story. The story is so good. The story is so good. The gameplay is superfluous. The gameplay is only there to be a vehicle to help narrate the story. Like, think of it as an interactive storybook that's being put in front of you. You just happen to have an ability to interact with the environment. They did great on the graphics, yes, and the way they did the kitty cat movements and the kitty cat noises and kind of their just way of being was done very well. Clearly, the folks who did this are cat people, and they are. They're definitely cat people. They definitely were attentive to detail, to say the least. I shall, even if I have to stay up late. Yep. Alio with a tier 1 subscription for 21 months already. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate all the support you guys have given. All right, folks, we've got a plethora of things to go through. Hold on, folks. 1 second. Oh, there it goes. 1 second.
Oh my god, she did it! Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Baby, you okay? You okay?
No tu. No. No, teraz się wykąpiesz, tak? Mm.
Не хочется есть. Я же говорю, что там родители.
这也想这儿，我这不行，没什么。他是喜欢，他生活在山上，有很多这种悬崖处。
Time for baby. Привет, вы на канале Хомки. Наш Шуша путешествует по клеткам хомячков. Вот так вот ему нравится лазить. Шушик. Шуша вообще удивительный.
New Mexico's history still burning? And what's the UK's first student-written proposed bill about? Welcome to the Climate Recap from the Beckysphere Climate Corner, your go-to place for international and US-based climate news. I'm Becky Hogue, a science writer. Today is Tuesday, July 26th. Let's jump right into the news you need to start your day. Let's start with some extreme weather events. The Greenland ice sheet suddenly picked up its melting rate last week, dropping 18 billion tons of water into the North Atlantic in just 3 days. That's enough water to fill 2.4 million Olympic-sized swimming pools. Put another way, it was the equivalent of covering all of West Virginia in 4 inches of water per day for a total depth of 1 foot. Greenland is one of the main contributors to annual sea level rise. As an Axios article says, quote, "The rate and extent of ice loss there in the next few decades and beyond will determine the fate of coastal cities from Hong Kong to Miami." This isn't the largest melting session scientists have seen in the last few decades, but it's part of the increasing melting rate that we've seen particularly since 2012. On the other side of the North American continent, Alaska is battling 500 forest fires. It's been this way all summer, with an area the size of Connecticut already charred. Smoke has traveled hundreds of miles. Alaska doesn't usually burn like this, but it's been especially hot and dry there this year. Most of the wildfires are started by lightning, which might become more common as climate change messes with the jet stream. Most of the fires haven't impacted property or people, being in the Alaskan wilderness. There was a bit of rain recently, which helped dampen the blazes. What's scary is that Alaska is now following what happened in 2004, when July rains gave way to a high-pressure system, resulting in hot days, low humidity, and more lightning. This caused the worst forest fire season in Alaska's recent history. Fire seasons like this are becoming more common. A little further south, Washington, Oregon, Idaho, and very northern California are entering into a potentially record heat wave, reaching about 5 to 10 degrees Fahrenheit above average for this time of year. Many places are in high heat advisories. Portland will get up to 103 degrees Fahrenheit today, and Weed, California is expected to get to 104 degrees Thursday. Like in the case of the UK, most places this far north don't have air conditioning because they're not used to getting this hot. The risk of wildfires is real, as we're in the worst drought in 1,200 years. Continuing down the coast, we have a new fire near Yosemite National Park. The Oak Fire started on Friday and has grown significantly since then to become the biggest fire California has seen this year. More than 6,000 people have had to evacuate, and the fire has burned 10 homes so far. Mariposa County declared a state of emergency. It's in the upper 90s there too. If this is giving you deja vu, it's because the Washburn Fire is still continuing to burn in Yosemite National Park. That one began burning July 7th and is now 87% contained. This all reminded me to check back on the New Mexico fire because I haven't seen that one in the news for a while. As a recap, the Hermit's Fire started in mid-April after a National Park Service-controlled burn went rogue. This happened because the service didn't properly account for climate change in their decision-making. The fire proceeded to get fueled by hot drought conditions and whisked by severe winds until it eventually merged with the Calf Canyon Fire in the state. It then became the largest fire in New Mexico's history. According to NCWeb, it's currently 93% contained. The federal government is paying for the firefighting effort because it was started by a federal agency, but it's unclear who's paying for the damage and reconstruction after. And just as predicted, the vegetation void space left by the fire has provided perfect conditions for flash flooding. 2 people died and 1 went missing in northern New Mexico last week as heavy floods pounded the area. Some places got more than an inch per hour. The potential for more rain and flash floods continues into this week. Now let's look at some climate studies. Climate change is increasing inequality within countries, according to a new study published in the journal World Development. The Italian researchers looked at inequality in more than 150 countries from 2013 to 2017 by controlling for large income disparities. They paid particular attention to the agriculture sector, which they identified to be one of the areas most likely to show a climate change inequality nexus. They found that temperature changes and precipitation fluctuations significantly increased inequality in a region. They found that countries that rely on agriculture more heavily to satiate their economies are more likely to see this inequality grow. Here's a jargon-filled quote from the study.
Alright folks, sorry about that. I actually had a friend call me who I haven't spoken with in like a bajillion, what feels like a bajillion years, and they just called me, and I just had to take this call, because, well, it's someone who has been definitely a childhood friend, and it was very nice for them to give me a quick call. I'll definitely be hitting them up. Funny enough, they're a producer for music and stuff like that, so that's pretty cool. Anyways, I hope the chinchillas kept you guys entertained.
Quote,
That was pretty cute.
We found that opening economies to foreign capital flows exacerbates inequality in some circumstances, especially when cross-border investment inflows are accompanied by hyper-specialization in selected growth value chain activities. Conversely, a greater diversification of incoming foreign direct investment across value-adding functions, enabling economies to expand their domestic capabilities by leveraging complementarities along value chains, emerges as a resilience-enhancing factor which mitigates within-country inequity. And then another study, this one published in the journal Nature Climate Change, found that climate change will actually make it harder for the world's poorest to even migrate.
Yeah.
This is because they don't even have the resources to migrate.
Correct.
The authors found that in a medium emission scenario, there will be a 10% decrease in migration among the lowest income groups by the end of the century. In high emission scenarios, the study found a 35% drop in migration. Now, this won't mean that climate change won't increase migration, because it will. More than 3% of the human population migrated internationally in 2020.
Yes, yeah, if you want to encapsulate this, it's basically doing the whole just move meme. That's basically what it is. Doing the just move meme, okay? Yeah.
To flee persecution, join family, or find economic opportunity, and climate change is a growing reason why people have to move. Climate change is already destabilizing parts of the world and drying up work. I'm not sure what's worse, having the ability to at least try to migrate and being turned around at the border, or being too resource stricken to even move out of a dire situation in the first place.
Right, and being too resource stricken to the point where you have no other choice. Yeah. I mean, we see this with like Central America. I mean, how many stories have we gone over where folks from, like, an example, Central America have been forced to pick up and go because they literally had no other choice. Climate change is destroying their ability to grow crops and sustain themselves or hold in a job. So it's already
Okay,
here.
we need a climate victory after that, or in this case, a climate protest. A few young climate activists from Last Generation glued their hands to the protective glass of the Botticelli Primavera painting in Florence, Italy. They used their hands to hold up a sign saying, "Last Generation, no gas, no coal." The group said they consulted with art historian experts to figure out the best way to glue themselves to the painting. The group said in a statement, quote, "Fires, food crises, and drought make it increasingly difficult. We decide to use art to sound an alarm call. We are
True.
heading towards social and eco-climate collapse."
Yes.
They were whisked away by the police. This form of protest is similar to that done by the UK Just Stop Oil campaign.
And like, just those are just like the icings, right? That's not even like... That's just the icing on the cake. The droughts, the famine, the water scarcity, the weather catastrophes. That's just the icing on the cake.
Painters who earlier this month glued their hands to the 500-year-old version of Da Vinci's Last Supper painting in London's Royal Academy. Other climate activists had glued themselves to the John Constable Haywain painting in the National Gallery on a different day. We have one climate fail today. Industrial soy production is causing a deforestation spike in southeastern Brazil, according to a new report by
Not
the
surprised.
NGO Amazon Conservation. The report was based on satellite data provided by the University of Maryland and the World Resources Institute's Global Forest Watch platform. There have been over 100,000 acres or 42,000 hectares of deforestation since 2020 that can be directly attributed to the soy industry. This increase could be due to an industrial effort to lower soybean prices, which have risen dramatically since 2020 due to several factors and are only dropping in price in the last few months.
Howdy.
Brazil contains the most deforested part of the Amazon due to lax and corporate-friendly government regulations
Yes, that is true.
by the Bolsonaro regime. The Amazon is an essential ecosystem for sucking up and storing carbon, as well as regulating weather patterns in the surrounding areas. It might impact areas as far up as Mexico and the US.
Oh yeah, and
If the Amazon continues to be deforested at this rate, it will become a savanna and a carbon source instead of a sink. It
Yep.
is also a biodiversity hub. Here's the kicker. The soy industry is basically an extension of the meat and dairy industry because more than 3/4 of soy is used to feed livestock. Only 7% is used for things like tofu, soy milk, and tempeh, so don't feel bad about continuing to use those meat and dairy alternatives. Let's finish today's episode on a high note. 18-year-old British climate campaigner Scarlett Westbrook wrote the first student-written bill for Parliament to change the Education Act to require climate change to be taught in all subjects.
nice base.
Currently, the GCSE requires climate change to be taught in geography and science, but Westbrook says that's not enough. For one thing, geography is not even a required course.
Jesus.
She says, quote,
If we're
"Climate
gonna
change
listen-
isn't just about natural history. It's about people, it's about economics, politics,
If we're gonna listen to impending doom, we might as well do it with cute animals, right?
history, and arts, and we need to learn that too." Teachers have echoed this sentiment. A recent study by Teach the Future found that 51% of teachers don't think their subject teaches about climate change in a meaningful or relevant way. And this could hinder students' understanding of the job market they'll enter into. The UK government promised to provide 480,000 green jobs by 2030. These could be in the form of solar panel engineers or sustainability managers. It's also important to increase education on climate change in grade school, not because kids should be expected to solve the issue, but because kids can influence their parents. A study published in May found that parents of kids who learned about climate change in school were more likely to increase their concern and awareness of the issue.
Nice.
The change was the most drastic among fathers and conservative parents.
Not only
so
that-
it's like a trickle-up education.
Yeah.
Labour PM Nadia
Sure.
Whittam,
I agree with that. And of course, obviously, like if your kid's learning something, you're gonna hear about it. That's just the way it works, generally speaking. I mean, how could you not? Like most interactions are gonna be from school. How was your day? What did you learn? Things like that. And that's crucial. But I think another ripple effect could be that, well, the kids are learning and they are understanding, and the more kids understand the severity of the situation, the better prepared they'll be.
the youngest MP at age 25, worked with Westbrook on constructing this bill. I'll let you know if this bill goes anywhere. It might actually do well considering it's being supported by a Labour Party member. And that was your climate recap for Tuesday, July 26th. If you like the work I do, please follow this podcast, give it a 5-star rating, leave a review, and consider checking out the Beckosphere Climate Corner YouTube channel. Remember
Thank
to
you
talk
for the,
about the climate crisis every single day
thank you,
and to
Elio. I
support your
appreciate
local
that.
news organizations. Bye for now.
I do hope your fluffy birthday is going well. I appreciate that. As I was saying, I apologize for having to step out for a second there. But yeah, I just got a call like a few minutes ago from a very long time friend, and I appreciate I appreciated that. Best initial spawn wishes. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And folks, if you don't know, Walter up there in the YouTube chat is also a very, very long time friend as well. So lots of neat folks in the chat and who called me as well. So I appreciate that. Definitely, it's been a wild 30 plus years, allegedly. In some cases, depending on who you ask, I might be 21. I might be 21, but no more than 35. Or older, I don't know. It just depends. Alright, we gotta get some, we gotta get going on some of these, That's cute. Baby goats are cute. We gotta get a move on. Oh, that's so cute. That's so cute. Happy birthday again. I'm gonna go grab some dinner and relax a bit. Nice. As you should. As you should, Mayhem Hippie. I appreciate that, by the way. Thank you. We'll tune back into our cute goats in a second. Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon. I thought I edited this beverage typo, but oh well. Fresh from a double contempt of Congress conviction linked to his role in the January 6th insurrection. Nice. Love the language, finally. Steve Bannon is now calling on 4,000 shock troops to deconstruct the federal government brick by brick. Jesus Christ. He wants to see people, quote, stepping forward and saying, hey, I want to be one of those 4,000 shock troops. Steve Bannon said on his War Room podcast on Monday, this is taking on and defeating and deconstructing the administrative state, which is, I guess, a euphemism for the deep state. Hello, fellow person who just joined Twitch 40 minutes ago. That's totally not another alt account with a very disgusting username. I'm so glad I have like these pre-screen things for all the trolls who want to be freaking racist pieces of shit like this guy. Yeah, none of your little I hope none of these messages are getting through. Anyways. I hope none of the messages got through. No, that's not his... No, that's not their real name. It's a troll. It's a troll. Alright. What are you, a Pokemon? No, he's a troll. Yeah, reasonable accusations. Okay, so I'm assuming that those messages got through. I was hoping it's not. Man. I was hoping that when you get like a Twitch modification, not a Twitch modification, a Twitch mod message, that it's actually holding that message. I thought it was holding it. Never mind. Love the sound effect, the little coin. I want to say it's like a coin effect, right? Anyways. This is taking on and defeating and deconstructing the administrative state, which is a euphemism for the deep state. Shock troops are assault forces that lead an attack. Yes. Suck on it, Bannon. We're destroying this illegitimate regime. Bannon's incendiary comments evoked his ominous call the day before the U.S. Insurrection. He told supporters of Trump on his podcast that all hell is going to break loose tomorrow, and we're on the point of attack. Strap in. Yeah, like the idea that this guy wasn't egging everything on is just ludicrous. And we don't need... Oh, I see. Unless the person is marked suspicious. But I thought because it was... I thought it was already marked for possible ban evasion. Never mind. Well, either way. Bye-bye. I saw them for a bit, but they were deleted. Okay, gotcha. Anyways, we don't need a article. We should just listen to the person's words, right? We don't need anything else. Why don't we just listen to what they have to say verbatim from their own words?
We're talking about a Republican democracy because essentially we have taken on the model of really Davos and the Chinese Communist Party of an authoritarian state.
What? We have taken the model of the Davos? I don't know what Davos is. And the Chinese Communist Party. What do you think this is? What? There's nothing communist about the Biden administration. There's nothing communist about the Biden administration.
Undemocratic with institutions that are not democratic. And
so again, every accusation from these folks is just a confession, right? They are claiming that, oh, this administration and this illegitimate regime is like the authoritarian state of the Chinese Communist Party and whatnot. But reality, the confession here is that we actually want to implement a theocratic authoritarian state. That's what they want. Every accusation is just a confession. This man should be jailed for incitement. Well, he's going to be jailed for contempt of Congress, funny enough.
State capitalism. Now, how do you combat that? You combat that by deconstructing. You have to take it apart, brick by brick.
You know, Steve, it gets my deplorable blood going on a Monday morning to hear Jonathan Swan talk about a purge. You know, Steve, Steve, it gets my deplorable blood going on a Monday morning to hear Jonathan Swan talk about a purge of the administrative state. Now, of course, he means that to be an expose and to be a hit on our movement. We take it exactly.
They mean that literally.
The opposite and wear it as a badge of honor. And it tells me that, yes, Jonathan Swan recognizes that there is a plan in place, that this second Trump term is going to be far more consequential than the first one. And the first one was quite consequential.
Article 3, I'm going to get
I agree.
Mike, and we're going to have a 1-hour special on the Jonathan Swan Axios articles. I want everybody to understand deeply exactly what we're doing here, okay, exactly what's going on, because you're going to be part of it. And particularly want people to come and step in forward and say, hey, I want to be one of those 4,000 shock troops. Or there's going to be lots of other opportunities. Drop the phrase, drain the swamp. This is beyond that. This is taking on and defeating and deconstructing the administrative state. We're going to
that's beyond that. Jesus Christ. Yikes.
And we're going to get a 1-hour special on the Jonathan Swan Axios and get some people on here that can talk about it. And, of course, Mike Davis. Also, over the weekend.
Yeah, this is basically the Republican Party, folks. Two Steves? Yeah, I guess. Bannon was responding to an Axios report last week that Trump and his allies are already plotting to replace all federal officials and civil service workers with those of whose key qualifications would be slavish devotion to Trump if he retakes the White House in 2024. Oh, this isn't like some type of conspiracy theory at all. This was actually a plan or an idea that came from Chris Rufo. This isn't like this didn't just materialize, or this isn't an exaggeration of what these people want. I actually made a tweet about it. Let me see here. Here we go from Chris Rufo's teaser for upcoming policy work, July 1st, 25 days ago. As we approach, expand on this campaign for next time a Republican assumes the presidency. As we approach 2024, I will be publishing a policy paper. I'm sorry, hold on. I will be publishing a policy paper on eliminating left-wing ideologies in the federal government, using the power of the presidency to fundamentally reshape the bureaucracy with a 6-part program targeting budget, content, personnel, grant-making, and oversight. The idea is to centralize... yeah. Centralize ideological control over the federal agencies in the White House and create a team at the Office of Management and Budget to enforce it. We could easily wipe out a significant portion of the infrastructure for the left-wing ideologies within the federal bureaucracy and within the network of federal grantees and contractors, which would shift American politics in the right direction, meaning far-right, dystopic, theocratic, authoritarian regime, authoritarian state. That's what he wants. That's what Chris Rufo wants. That's what this asshole wants too. Okay? That's what the GOP wants. The GOP, the Republican Party, can and will implement a theocratic authoritarian state should they get the opportunity to, when they get the opportunity to. Do you think that he's just gonna, that the Republicans are just gonna sit there? No. If they take power, that's what they'll do. That's what they'll do. I believe Charlie Kirk's exact words were, once we get power, we're not going to give it up. So, yeah. Charlie Kirk, the head, one of the heads of Turning Point USA, that's what he said. So, you know, I mean, it's not just a fringe element of the Republican Party. It is the Republican Party. Bannon hailed the radical plot for Trump to retake control of the nation. Former Trump campaign advisor Steve Cortez vowed on the podcast that Trump's next term would be far more consequential than his last one. That's a threat, folks. That's a threat. And they will follow through that. Bannon has called for shock troops to immediately seize control of the nation a month before the 2020 election, when he expected Trump to win re-election or seize control of the vote results. Pre-chain teams need to be ready to jump into federal agencies. This is in line with the thinking of the Republican strategy going into the next elections. They're going to try again and again. I mean, unless some really hardcore examples are made out of these people, they're going to continue. There's no consequences. If there's no consequences, then these people continue. The Republican Party is simply incompatible with democracy. Period. Full stop. No other arguments to be had here. The Republican Party is just completely incompatible with democracy. It's a birthday. Indeed it is. Howdy, Echo Wrestler Dragon. Student loans on pause, and soon will it be extended again, and where does forgiveness stand? The federal student loan payments pause that has been in place since early days of COVID is set to end in August 31st. Borrowers should start preparing now for the payment restart. According to MarketWatch, options include refinancing, consolidating multiple loans into a single new payment, or asking lenders for forbearance, which can allow you to temporarily stop making payments. Getting forbearance generally means demonstrating some type of financial hardship like unemployment or high debt burden. Given the ongoing economic pressures many people are still under, with the inflation running hot, it is possible that the end of the pause could be extended. President Biden's administration has already extended it several times previously. I mean, like, at this point, like, why not just lay the groundwork to just start creating debt relief, right? Just start creating student debt relief or canceling student loans. The Senate is, yep, that's right. Happy birthday, thank you. Mine is on the 31st. Awesome. Another July birthday. Did you get the news that Putin, Russia's tightening its gas squeeze on Europe? Said that Gazprom said supplies through the Nord Stream 1 pipeline to Germany would drop 20% to just 20% capacity. Yeah, but Europe is also saying that they're not going to take any more oil or less oil as well. Or gas, I should say. Payments were initially paused in 2020 after the pandemic began tanking the economy. So far, the Education Department has not communicated with borrowers or loan servicers about whether it plans to extend the pause again, but some servicers have been told to hold off on sending billing statement to borrowers, according to Inside Higher Ed. If that's the case, then I mean, maybe they're going to extend it. That's a signal that they might actually want to extend this. In which case, I mean, just make a plan. You've had all this time. Just lay the groundwork for student debt cancellation. Jesus Christ. The lack of communication has left many borrowers confused. If payments do restart at the end of August, the Education Department will have to inform borrowers eventually. Yeah, like in a month. Yeah, basically a month. They'll be like, all right, by the way, boom, you have to start paying. The Education Department will have to inform borrowers eventually. Law requires the department to contact borrowers at least 6 times before payments start again. Yeah, they should probably get on that. The reality is, I think that they're going to extend it, honestly. The administration is working towards a decision on a broader round of student loan forgiveness. Forbes said Biden said earlier that he wants to make a decision on the plan by the end of August. Well, time's a ticking. I don't understand what this is. It makes no damn sense. Just freaking do it already. Just do it. Do something. Reports have suggested officials are considering a plan to forgive $10,000 in student debt with restrictions based on income, which is garbage. Such a program would reach a large number of borrowers than earlier round of forgiveness, which often focused on people with certain jobs or borrowers who attended predatory for-profit colleges. The move would likely take place through executive action. Forbes said the White House has said little publicly about where forgiveness stands, other than noting Biden is still considering what to do. Well, we'll see. It's the 32nd anniversary of Americans with Disability Act. VP Kamala Harris has a 21-minute video. I'm not watching 21 minutes of Kamala Harris. I can't do it. Hold on, folks. Give me one moment. All right, folks. Sorry about that. 63-month prison term matches longest for Capitol insurrection. Good. A man who attacked police officers with poles during the insurrection at the U.S. Capitol matches the longest term imprisonment so far among hundreds of Capitol riot prosecutions. Mark Ponder, a 56-year-old resident of Washington, D.C., said he got caught up in the chaos. Yeah, well, too bad. Get fucked. Don't care. That was 3 months longer than the prison sentence requested by prosecutors. Good, get fucked. At the same time, and it's the same sentence that Chutkan gave Robert Palmer, a Florida man who also pleaded guilty to assaulting police. Yep, get fucked. More than 200 Capitol riot insurrection defendants have been sentenced so far. None received a longer prison sentence than Ponder or Palmer. Oh well. Oh well. Chutkan said Ponders was leading the charge against police officers trying to hold off the mob trying to hold off the insurrectionists that tried to disrupt Congress from certifying President Biden's electoral victory. That's not being caught up. He was intent on attacking and injuring police officers. This was not a protest. True, it was an insurrection. Yeah, she's so smug and unbelievable. Yeah, like Kamala Harris, That's not, this is not caught up. Yeah, that's right. Chutkan has consistently taken a hard line in punishing Capitol rioters. Good. She has handed down terms of imprisonment to all 13 riot defendants who have come before her, matching or exceeding the Justice Department's sentencing recommendations in every case. Good. Prosecutors have recommended a 5-year sentence for Ponder, who had just been jailed since his arrest in March of 2021. In April, Ponder pleaded guilty to a assault punishable by a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison. Federal sentencing guidelines called for prison term ranging from nearly 5 to just under 6, but Chutkan wasn't bound by those recommendations. More than 100 police officers were injured during the insurrection. 864 have been charged. Wow. $107 are facing imprisonment? Jeez. Well, to say it's only the 32nd is kind of sad and describes things. Describe things, I will be 38. Wow, you've been alive longer than the Americans with Disability Act, the ADA. That's wild. Well, I'm not too far behind you, more or less. So there you have it, folks. Honestly, 63 months is too little, to be quite frank. But, oh well. I keep clicking on the wrong X button. No, I don't care. Hey, come back. Okay, here we go. There we go. All right. Hypocrisy at its finest. GOP Representative Glenn Thompson attended son's same-sex wedding days after opposing marriage equality bill. You can't make this stuff up, folks. Days after voting against legislation last week that would protect marriage equality, Representative Glenn Thompson, a Republican from Pennsylvania, attended his son's wedding to another man. Congressman and Mrs. Thomas were thrilled to attend and celebrate their son's marriage on Friday night as he began his new chapter in his life, Madison Stone Thompson's press secretary told CBS in an email. The Thompsons are very happy to welcome their new son-in-law into their family. Thompson was among 157 Republicans in the House who who opposed the Respect for Marriage Act, which, if enacted, would repeal the Clinton-era Defense of Marriage Act, require states to recognize same-sex marriage performed in other states, and provide additional federal protections for same-sex and interracial couples. NBC News earlier reported Thompson's attendance at his son's wedding. The measure passed in a bipartisan vote. 47 Republicans supported the bill last week and could win enough backing from the Senate Republicans to overcome a filibuster and advance in an evenly split upper chamber, though its fate remains unclear. The Supreme Court in 2015 said the Constitution guarantees the right to same-sex marriage, but House Dems have moved to enshrine marriage equality into federal law in the wake of the higher court's decision last month that dismantled the constitutional right to an abortion established under Roe v. Wade. Right, so basically, there's no reason to trust the Supreme Court at this point in time. It isn't out of pocket to say that these justices have lied, and some of them have lied under oath, perjured themselves. So, yeah, Congress should be moving in an aggressive manner to codify these things into federal law. Hey, James Snapper, how's it going? New development in the UK. What's going on? According to Dan YT podcast I was listening today, it seems as though the Dems are working on trying to get a coalition of Republicans to vote for gay marriage into law. They need, I believe, 10, and they have 5 just now. Yeah, or send it to me, non-binary. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. I don't know if they'll get the 10 to overcome it. Who's to say? It's about the leader debate. Just send it to me via Whispers. They seem pretty confident to begin. They'd get it. I don't know. I don't trust Republicans. Their names are being kept hush now because they don't want to screw the negotiations. Yeah, but like, why? Because it could be a political problem? Ben Shapiro's in video complaining about Russell Brand? Really? Can you send that to me or post it, Alio? I gotta see this. Right-wing Florida confab rips swastika-waving neo-Nazis and Governor DeSantis keeps mum. Speakers inside praise Christian nationalism, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and bash ugly women who shouldn't be worried about being impregnated. Matt Gaetz, of course. Organizers of a right-wing conference in Florida denounced a group of neo-Nazis waving swastika flags outside the gathering, but convention speaker Ron DeSantis hasn't said a word about it. That's just kind of like to reiterate what we were saying yesterday, that this guy has not said a single peep. Alright, what is this? Let's see, 2 minutes, we can do it.
Liz Truss and Rishi Sunak have clashed once again. Now, Liz Truss and Rishi Sunak have clashed once again in the latest debate between the two, hoping to be the next Conservative leader and Prime Minister, though the atmosphere and discussion was more respectful than last night's tetchy BBC debate. There were exchanges about the NHS and cost of living. But the programme was cut short. It was interrupted at one point after a loud noise was heard in the studio that the producer said was caused by a medical issue, apparently involving the presenter, Kate McCann, formerly of Sky News. She apparently fainted but is recovering well. We can just show you the moment in the debate. Liz Truss had just been asked a question and was just starting to answer it when the noise was heard.
If he succeeds in Ukraine, he's not going to stop there. He's going to challenge the freedom and democracy.
Jesus.
Well, let's go live now to our chief political correspondent, John Craig. Well, interrupted the debate. I mean, first thoughts, as Liz Truss showed there, with the presenter, Kate McCann, who apparently is doing OK.
I can bring you a statement, Dermot, from News UK, excuse me, The statement says, Kate McCann fainted on air tonight, and although she is fine, the medical advice was that we shouldn't continue with the debate. We apologise to our viewers and listeners. You saw the look of shock on Liz Truss's face there, and she obviously moved.
I would faint too if I had to listen to 10 minutes of this.
forward to try and help in any way that she could.
Jesus.
That's Kate McCann there in the red outfit. Kate McCann, a former colleague of ours here at Sky News, a former, before that, a print.
Wild. Wild. The neo-Nazis waving large red flags emblazoned with swastikas and SS symbols gathered outside TPUSA at the Tampa Convention Center, shouting racist slurs, and they also waved the flag of Florida and another with the slogan DeSantis Country, along with DeSantis, along with the poster featuring DeSantis's face. So they clearly, what's interesting about this is that they obviously relate, right? They obviously are attached to him for some reason. I can't quite imagine why. I mean, like, and the fact that he hasn't said a single peep is just very telling. It's just very telling. Sunak and Truss ended the discussion last night by assuring viewers that they would be pushing through with restrictions on rail workers striking as a key party pledge. Jeez.
Well-funded, powerful anti-abortion politicians like Governor Kemp want to outlaw abortion in every state. In 2019, Governor Kemp bragged.
Yes, Governor Kemp is horrible.
Why exactly people feel like the country is coming apart?
Jesus.
Maybe it's because you're attacking the fundamental basis of Western civilization and pretending
Oh my
you're not.
God. Jesus Christ. Like, right off the gates, 9 seconds in. Boom. 9 seconds in. Jesus.
Maybe it's because of that. So whenever I read stories like this, there's always a backlash that occurs from the left-wing types. Like, well, why are you even paying attention to this? Because it's on the front page of the New York Times website. That's why. So my favorite game that the left plays is they point out something that is radical, specifically because they hope to shift the debate. And when you notice, they're like, why are you even noticing? I'm noticing because you're doing it. That would be the reason why.
What?
And then you wonder why it feels like the country is coming apart at the seams.
What?
That would be precisely the reason.
Oi,
And so
makes
Pete
sense.
Buttigieg,
Make a point.
Yesterday, he was on State of the Union on CNN, and he says, we on the left, we're not starting the culture wars. So right now, the left is pushing through the House. They just pushed through the House with a bunch of Republican votes, a bill that gets rid of the Defense of Marriage Act and essentially enshrines in law Obergefell, which is the Supreme Court case saying that same-sex marriage is purely legally equivalent to heterosexual marriage in every single way.
Yes.
It goes a little bit further than that, actually.
How? Oh, I'm sorry. Is his concept, I don't know, Echo Rester Dragon. It's hard for him to even make a point. Remember, this is the peak of the right-wing intelligentsia, so... Anyways, so the point he's trying to say is, it goes too far by what? Codifying interracial marriage? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, is he saying that maybe interracial marriage is going too far? What are you talking about, Benny?
But again, it essentially makes the law of the land.
Oh, he doesn't say. Ooh, yikes. The UK is on strike a lot as of tomorrow. Wow. Yikes.
You're a bigot if you believe that heterosexual marriage is in any way different or superior to homosexual marriage. And people who just says, we're not declaring the culture war. No, you kind of are.
No.
You kind of are. And just
no,
because...
every accusation is a confession, folks. Remember, this is how these people operate. Propagandists like Ben Shapiro, every accusation is a confession. No, the right is all about the culture war. You guys made this a thing.
The left has been winning the culture war doesn't mean that if you continue to push, that you're going to continue to win the culture war. Everybody is pretty tolerant up until the time you start suggesting that they get to teach your kid, that you get to teach their kids your particular form of anti-traditional morality. There's Pete Buttigieg, who apparently he's very fond of speaking up on everything except for transportation policy. When it comes to actually, fixing the supply chain bottleneck, then he's completely uninterested in the job. When it comes to speaking about gay marriage, then of course he is first on he's Johnny on the spot. Here's Pete Buttigieg yesterday.
Because he's
in the work that we're doing, we have found that not everybody is prepared to hear about justice and equity in the context of transportation. As if transportation is somehow uniquely immune to the impacts of patterns of exclusion and racial injustice that have touched every other part of our society. So I just want to make clear, we're not the ones looking for culture wars. We're just trying to do what's right, healing the broken places.
Right, and not only that, like, if your big example of the left is Pete Buttigieg, you have no idea what the left is.
In our country.
They're not looking for culture wars, except for how every single day they're looking for culture wars, right? Of course, in the stretches.
No, that's you, buddy. That's your bread and butter. That's literally your bread and butter, dude.
Not just from issues of marriage, it also stretches to indoctrinating your kids in radical gender ideology.
What? Source?
It extends to extending abortion to all stages of pregnancy.
Yes, access to abortion, yes. Yes, that's a right. Bodily autonomy is a right. I know you don't believe in any of these things, Benny. You don't believe in the right to bodily autonomy. You don't believe in the right for people to do to love who they want to love. The only thing you believe in, Benny boy, is a theocratic authoritarian state. That's what you believe in. That's what conservatives believe in. Yeah, and the fact that the fact that this guy has the audacity to be like, the left is the only one that does the culture war thing. You guys started it, while literally making a entire media empire off it is just hilarious to me.
Kamala Harris, the vice president of the United States, yesterday, she was trying to talk about the GOP and abortion, suggesting that, again, there's only one priority when it comes to abortion, and that is the autonomy of a woman over her own body. Forget about the countervailing interest of a child in actually living and not being killed.
That's not a child. Hey, whoa. No, that is not a child living inside your body. It is a clump of cells. And regardless, even if we were to grant that, even if we were to fast forward that argument and being like, all right, it's a child, so what? Listen, you are not entitled to sustain anybody. Other people are not entitled to your body. It's the whole violinist meme, right? It's not about the left, though, in any real sense. It's about the idea that the idea of the left that Republican voters have. Yes, you're absolutely 1,000% correct, which is essentially broadly speaking, correct. Yeah, Kamala Harris, another bastion of progressivism. Yeah, no, James is hitting it on the head right there. True.
Does not exist, according to the Vice President of the United States.
We must stand and say it is wrong-headed and intended to harm when you pass laws that deny a woman a right to make decisions about her body.
Yes,
when
or anybody's.
You pass laws that suggest there's not even an exception for rape or incest.
Right, because again, Republicans are they're comfortable with the idea, right? So anyways, the point being is that the entire argument of the abortion thing is bodily autonomy. You do not have a right to anybody's body to sustain your own. This is why we have rules. When somebody passes away, you have to have listed on your license or registration or whatever you use your ID card, you have to explicitly give consent for anybody to use your body. That's the whole point. Even in death, you have bodily autonomy. You can say, "Hey, I don't have to give my body to sustain anybody else. F it. I'll say no. No donor. Do something about it, Kamala.
You know, I personally prosecuted cases involving child sexual assault. It's an uncomfortable topic. People don't want to talk about it, but it's real and it happens. And that child and that woman should not have to endure an act of extreme violence and then not have the ability to have agency and autonomy
Jesus
to
Christ.
decide what happens next.
They
in
always
her
use
life.
the edge cases, like a 10-year-old gets raped and then wants an abortion. By the way, very likely if a 10-year-old gets pregnant, that she's going to need an abortion in order to live, because the simple fact of the matter is the 10-year-olds are generally not capable of bearing
Yeah, Ben, besides that point, if a 10-year-old is pregnant, she was fucking raped, dude. Holy shit. Like, no acknowledgement of that.
children. But Kamala Harris, there's a key phrase that she uses there: intended to harm, right? The idea is that if you oppose her, you intend to harm.
Yes.
And same thing from Pete Buttigieg. If
Yes.
you oppose anything in Pete Buttigieg,
No, not anything. You're putting words in people's mouths. No. If you oppose the idea of bodily autonomy, if you oppose the concept of having agency over your body, then yeah, your intent is to harm people, right? Because if you don't believe in bodily autonomy, then you feel like the people that don't have bodily autonomy are yours. That's the goal, right? I mean, doesn't the Bible say that basically the woman is nothing more than basically subservient to the man? The woman is nothing more than essentially a birthing pod, right? Now, that's literally, if you've got if you have the capacity for childbirth, then that's about where your worth begins and ends for these people. I take my dog outside, it's 3:30 p.m. and it's 101 degrees Fahrenheit. Jesus.
agenda, it's not because you have disagreements over the societal standard that ought to be applied to human behavior.
Yes. There's no there's no disagreement to be had here. Either you believe in bodily autonomy and want people and want to give people the right to do whatever they want with their body, and not want to force people essentially to give up their bodily agency, their agency, or you don't, and you can't really compromise with that. Sorry, get fucked.
No, it's intended to harm. It's
Yes.
intended to harm.
Yes.
This is part and parcel of a broader leftist rubric.
I don't
where-
know what that means. But yes, if you oppose the idea of bodily autonomy, if you want to take away the right for people, for same-sex marriages, for people to have same-sex marriages, for gay marriage, yes, your intention is to harm. Yes. Yes.
Whereby, if you disagree with them, you're not just the culture warriors. You are the people who are putting the country on the brink of disaster. And then, if you notice this, if you say, guys, you're tearing the country apart, that is when the media jump in and they say, well, you're the ones who are provoking.
Yes.
So if you push to the left, if you greenlight riots in the middle of 2020.
What?
If
Who
you, like
greenlit
Vice President
riots?
Harris, try to bail out rioters in the middle of riots in 2020.
What? That's what?
If you push on the idea that children can be boys or girls and they should be taught that boys can be girls and girls can be boys. If you suggest that all forms of human sexual relations are morally equivalent and that must be taught at every level.
Yes. Yes. Yes, I should be able to love who I want to love. Yes. What are you talking about? They're all equally valid. Yes. Yes, a heterosexual marriage is just as valid as any other type of marriage. What are you talking about? It's a marriage. It's two people who are in love. Unless you don't consider the other people people. I love turning it around on them. Fundies are really ruining this country. Oh yeah, 100%. Christian fundamentalists are literally like untenable. There's no compromising with these people here. Yeah, like the idea of teaching tolerance is like this thing that triggers is the straw that broke this camel's back. Is the idea of tolerance.
Level and enshrined in every every area of American law. If you suggest that any restriction on abortion whatsoever is an attack on a woman,
yes,
and then people say no, then the idea is that they're the ones who are starting the civil war. And this is how you end up with a piece by Dave Weigel.
What? How did we get to civil war? Jesus Christ.
In the Washington Post titled, "On the Campaign Trail, Many Republicans Talk of Violence in Both Swing States and Safe Seats."
Yes. Have you not heard? Have you not heard the Republican rhetoric? Yeah. Yes. 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 They're incredibly violent.
Republican candidates say that liberals hate them personally and may turn rioters or a police state on people who disobey them. I wonder why people might have that thought. I wonder why people might have the radical thought that there are people on the left who hate their guts. I mean, why would they think that after listening to the Vice President of the United States? That if you're pro-life,
Listen, you're pushing too far and you're making me angry. And when I do violence, it's your fault. What? Listen, you crazy lefties. You're pushing too far, okay? You're gonna make me do a violence, okay? And when I do a violence, it's gonna be your fault. What?
you're pro-life, it's because you have intent to harm.
Yes.
Why might they think that? Why might they?
Because if you take away bodily autonomy from people, that kind of tends to make harm. I mean, what do you think is going to happen if Roe v. Wade, like if tomorrow the federal government, so take any red state, and take any red state that has passed basically a near total abortion ban. What do you think is going to happen to the women who need this, to the people who are capable of birth? What do you think they're going to do? What do you think is going to happen? You're not going to stop them from having abortions. You're going to stop them from having unsafe abortions. You are literally causing harm. Objectively causing harm. Yeah, they're a dangerous political party. They need to be defeated. Yeah, watch your mouth or you'll watch my bullets. Yeah.
I think after listening to Pete Buttigieg suggest repeatedly that you're a bad person if you disagree that homosexual marriage and heterosexual marriage are morally equivalent. This means that you're a bigot.
Yes.
Why might they think that?
Because you are? Wait, does Ben not know the definition of a bigot? Hold on. Jesus Christ, we gotta take Benny Boy to school today. Bigot, a person who obstinately or unreasonably attached to a belief, opinion, or faction, especially one who is prejudiced against or antagonistic toward a person or people on the basis of membership of a particular group. Say, LGBTQ people. You fucking bigot.
That they are under some sort of dire threat. Why? It's all a mystery wrapped in an enigma. When they listen
just because you want to obfuscate what's going on here, doesn't make it so. It's not a mystery. It's not a big Scooby-Doo episode. This is what the right has to offer. This is what the right has to offer. Jesus.
On the left, suggest.
Get me in a room with Ben. I'll run circles around this intellectual giant in front of us here.
That disagreement amounts to a form of violence.
No. That is a woefully myopic way of applicating those that argument. If you disagree with me, no, it's not just about disagreement, because I have disagreements all the time, okay? I have disagreements all the time. There are just certain things that must be a line in the sand, and human rights are one of them. Sorry, there's no compromise on that. No compromise. Sorry, get fucked.
And that they are about to overthrow the country. Why do you think people might feel a little bit threatened? For example, Al Gore, right, he's back out of the woodwork now because
If you feel threatened by the idea of same-sex couples having the right and having the same equal status and protections and federal tax whatever as heterosexual couples, if that's what triggers you, first of all, how big of a snowflake are you? And two, get fucked. This doesn't concern you.
really hot. Every time it gets hot during the summer, we call Al Gore out of the woodwork to fly his private jet into the green room at CNN.
All right, I'm gonna get uber triggered. I'm gonna get uber triggered by this because this is up my this is right up my wheelhouse, and this is gonna be unbelievably triggering to me. Shapiro is one of those weird spinoffs from political science that kind of let the team down. I can imagine most major political science cringe quite badly when they see him or hear him. Oh yeah, 100%. But then his background is also what makes his act all the more sinister, because he should and absolutely does know better in terms of ideological differentiation. He's intentionally framing it this way, even though he knows it's not correct or fair. Oh yeah, 100%, 1000%, 1000%. He knows what he's doing. He absolutely knows what he's doing. 1000%.
That's different.
Ben Shapiro is educated enough to know exactly what he's doing. Oh, your fluffy birthday continues. This is so cute. Look at these baby chickens. Oh my god. Look at these baby chickens. Peep, 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 peep. Peep, peep, peep. Aww. That's so cute. It's worse when someone knows that they're wrong and goes with it, than someone who's wrong but doesn't know any better. Yeah, because that's the difference between ignorant and then malicious intent, right? Because what else are you supposed to assume, right? Because I don't think he's unintelligent. I don't think he's unintelligent. He's intelligent and educated enough to know what he's doing. So then it must be malice. He's doing this on purpose because he's a hateful bigot. That's what it is.
And explain just why things are so bad. Al Gore over the weekend suggested that people who disagree with him on the climate are like the Uvalde officers who allowed a mass shooter to murder children in a classroom while doing nothing. There is Al Gore, who's gotten extremely rich being a green advocate while raking in the green.
You know, the climate deniers are really in some ways similar to all of those almost 400 law enforcement officers in Uvalde, Texas, who were waiting outside
I'm cringing.
an unlocked door while the children were being massacred. They heard the screams,
Jesus
they heard
Christ.
the gunshot.
I hate that this is a gift.
And nobody stepped forward. And
so I've advocated for, and I've gone through time and time again just how important the climate crisis is, and just how little action we've done, just how effed we are, time and time again. And I do not speak like this. I don't speak like Mr. Al Gore over here. This is wild.
God bless those families who suffered so much. And
Stop talking. Stop talking.
I appeared together on Bill Maher, where he suggests, I hate you. Why? It's again, giant mysteries.
Capable of as human beings.
Well, it's the same. Why might you think that people like Al Gore hate you? Why? It's again, giant mysteries. And
it's not a giant mystery. This is a this is okay, whatever. Yeah, it's pretty cringe, but if Sturgeon movie was an eye opener, yeah, like I'll give him like a tiny bit of credit that like he tried to put something forth in the beginning with an inconvenient truth. But like the reality is, like, I don't know if I want Al Gore being the I don't know if I want Al Gore being the freaking voice of the climate movement, right? Like, dude, I understand that you're trying to bring awareness, but I think that his lack of focus on solutions and the fact that like it's so easy to dunk on him because he doesn't I don't even know if he like is invested in this for real or what the deal is, but I would not want Al Gore as my spokesperson for the climate movement.
MSNBC's Malcolm Nance. Right, so Malcolm Nance, he and I appeared together on Bill Maher, where he suggested that every Republican was complicit in January 6th and wanted to overthrow the government, and that we were at the moment when democracy was going to be overthrown by
Yes, the Republican Party has been found engaging in multiple schemes to overthrow the election. Yes. Jared Cardenas with a Prime sub. Thank you so much. But how about we just talk about the worst Republicans and claim that that's how the whole right thinks? Green and Boebert come to mind. Yeah, the difference is I can actually create a argument that basically says that this is the Republican Party. Green, Boebert, Trump, this is the Republican Party. And I can make the argument that basically they are either complicit by directly engaging with this, or complicit by not doing anything about this. An example would be Ron DeSantis, not a peep, not condemnation, not saying I don't want these guys here. Nope. When Nazis show up, parading your flag and your face, and you say nothing, I don't know.
These people. But if you notice that that's extreme radical rhetoric that borders on the Civil War type of rhetoric.
But you're doing that.
Yeah, has been common throughout American history, unfortunately.
No, I don't think Al Gore said the word Civil War in that clip at all.
And that's because you want the Civil War. Here's MSNBC's Malcolm Nance predicting that there will be no more elections ever if Republicans win, which, by the way, is kind of a Civil War-like call, right? If the suggestion is, if your opponents win, it's the end of the country.
When you've got Republican intelligentsia saying that they want to eliminate the other side, they want to eliminate the opposing ideology in federal government, they want to centralize ideological control over federal agencies in the White House, when the complete when the opposite side says things like, if we win power, we're not going to give it back. What are we supposed to get from that? Did you see the Donald Trump and Pence DC speeches today? The GOP is divided. I don't know about that. Happy Whisper Day. One more. We got another one? Oh, it's a hair. Oh, it's a wallaby. Oh, it's so cute. It's a baby wallaby, guys. It's a baby wallaby. Aww. Poor thing. Oh, it's so cute. Poor little dude. Oh, that is too adorable. Okay.
What choice do you have but to use every tool at your disposal to stop them from winning? Here's Malcolm Nance.
The Democrats, Joe Biden, all the rest of them need to understand they are, what are we, July, August, September, October, November? You are 4 months from the end of American democracy. 4 months. And we said that in 2020, and that was true then too, right? But now you're talking about putting a party in power in which there will never be another election. They will vote through every piece of legislation and defund every component of the United States government.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much a verbatim plan that the Republican Party has pretty much embraced. Like, I don't know what else to say other than to reach this thought process, right? The Republican Party at this point in time, is completely incompatible with democracy. Okay? I have illustrated time and time again how if these people win power, they're not going to give it back. Charlie Kirk said it himself. Charlie Kirk, the leader of Turning Point USA, a massive conservative think tank movement. You've got Chris Rufo suggesting that. Is this dude serious? Yeah, I don't blame him. I don't blame him. The Republican Party at this time is just incompatible with democracy. Period. Full stop.
They're not joking about impeaching Joe Biden every week, okay, and Kamala Harris, and getting rid of people or expanding the Supreme Court, whatever it is they think they can do, even though some of it's crazy. First thing that they said, Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert said, we will criminally prosecute every person who took part in the January 6th investigation.
Guys, if we don't stop those evil people who disagree with us, they're going to burn down the country. So we'll use every means at our disposal.
That it's not about just disagreement, you strawmanning clown. Oh, it has nothing to do with the argument there. That has nothing to do with the argument that was being presented. Strawmanning clown. No, it's not if you disagree with me. No. Is if you are essentially saying some people just don't deserve some rights. That's not a disagreement, my friend. You are actively trying to take away rights from people. There's no compromise with that.
Why might Republicans feel threatened? I don't understand.
Remember, folks, the whole case of his argument is, listen, the left is pushing too far, and then when we get violent, it's going to be your fault. What ones? What are you talking about? How what? How what? Make cohesive arguments. Make cohesive statements.
They're only attacking, the left is only saying that if you back fundamental societal institutions, it's because you're a bigot. And if you notice health statistics...
You are a bigot, Ben Shapiro. Definitionally, yes. What ones are you talking about? I have no idea. That's not a coherent... I have no idea. Man, these Democrats are literally describing their own party. Democrats are destroying the country. Can you name an example? That's what I'm asking you to do. Make a bunch of accusations and not giving any facts. I'm just asking, which ones are you talking about that he did? What accusation? What are you talking about? Makes sense. My accusation that the Republican Party is incompatible with democracy? crime rates in all blue states? No. Crime rates are high in cities. Crime rates are high in cities, yes. There's a reason Joe Biden has the worst approval rating in history. Yes, but it's not for the reasons you think. Crime rate is high in all mega cities. Yes, that's how cities work. Yes. Anyways, you're wrong and nuts. Wow, dude, look at the right-wing intelligentsia. Look how awesome these arguments are. Well, you're just wrong. Cool, dude. Amazing argument. Man, I wish I had the brain. I wish I had a big as brain as you do. If I could just win arguments by saying you're wrong and see ya. Cool, dude. That is amazing. Look, Derek. That's your buddy right there, isn't it? That's the typical right-wing intelligentsia right there. You're wrong. You're wrong. Yeah. More Republican talking points. It's not even Republican talking points. It's literally like nothing. Nothing. Anyways, you're wrong. And that's it. He's already getting all angry to go live. Some weights. I don't know what that means.
Is probably because you're a bigot. And
yeah, Ben Shapiro is a little bigot. Yes. Yes, Ben Shapiro is a bigot. Yes. Definitionally. He said it at the beginning. He doesn't believe that gay marriage he doesn't believe that gay marriage is equivalent to traditional heterosexual marriage. That is by definition a bigot. He is a bigot.
If you are a person who does not agree with Al Gore on climate, it's because you're essentially a passive murderer. And also,
you're wrong.
You want to overthrow elections. But probably there are people who want to live with you. The people who are saying this sort of stuff. Probably. How's this?
Wow. Truly, an intellectual giant. It isn't that they can't make babies, therefore they can't procreate for this world to continue to exist. What are you talking about? Bro, Ben Shapiro is making the argument that homosexual marriage is not the same, or it's not morally the same as heterosexual marriage. Morally. He's talking about morals. He's talking about morals. He just wants to take away the right for people to love who they want. He just wants to implement a theocratic, authoritarian state. Honestly, people like Shapiro and generally other very hyper-partisan people are often the way they are because they're using political expression as a response to some traumatic stuff in their past. I agree. Not with people like Ben, Derek. Not like people with Ben. There's America. Again, I wish you would make sense. There's America. You can be whoever you want, but when you start encroaching on us, living as opposed to dying, what? You couldn't possibly think you wouldn't have a problem. I have no idea what that sentence means, or if that's even an argument. Ben speaks nothing but facts. That's not true. Sorry.
For a title. Ben Shapiro shows some...
Sorry. Ben Shapiro has not, doesn't really indulge the idea of facts. No. Give me 11 things. Give me 11, then give me one fact he didn't speak. I have no idea what that means. What is give me 11? Education is hard. This is why we need free college. Exactly. We've got one person whose entire argument was, you're wrong, and then left. Usually is louder than 10. Yeah, I guess 11 is a number. I guess.
Subscriber, just you notice, they're like, why are you even noticing?
Anyways. Absolute freaking clown. Give me one fact, one way to prove the accusation you just made. What accusation? That he's a bigot? You want me to prove that Ben Shapiro is a bigot? He's not a bigot. Yes, he is. Do you know the definition of a bigot? Wait, hold on. What is the definition of a bigot? Come on, let's go. What is the definition of a bigot? Let's go. That's not what he said. That's actually not what he said in that video at all. What's the definition of a bigot? Let's go. Anybody can can Google a definition. Good. So you should be able to tell me what a bigot is. If anybody can use a Google, anybody can Google a definition, then you should be able to tell me what a bigot is. I'm just wondering why we're going back and learning skills here when you want to go back to a definition when you made a whole bunch of allegations. I said that he is a bigot. You said he is not. I'm asking you, what is the definition of a bigot? If you don't understand what the word means, how could you not know if he's not that? If you don't know what a bigot is, how do you know that he is not a bigot? Correct. You copy-pasted the Google definition. Congratulations. A person who is obstinately or unreasonably attached to a belief or opinion or faction, like, say, religious fundamentalism, like Ben is, especially one who's prejudiced against or antagonistic towards a person or people on the basis of a membership of a particular group, say, like the LGBTQ community. Ben is absolutely antagonistic. He was antagonistic in that video. He's literally told a gay person that he doesn't want to be involved. He doesn't want to be involved, and he said that if a Supreme Court was worth its salt, they would overturn gay marriage. That is a direct quote from Ben Shapiro. If there was a Supreme Court that was worth its salt, it would overturn gay marriage. 1776 America was made perfect. No, it wasn't. What the fuck are you talking about? So there's no room for change? There's no room to make it better? Nothing is perfect. Nothing is perfect. Stop trying to change it to be whatever you want. Fuck you. I want this place to be better. Just the child groomers? What child groomers? What are you talking about? Are you talking about Matt Gaetz, the Republican? What could be better? What are you talking about? What could be better? For starters, universal health care. What are you talking about? I'm telling you. The clowns came out in force today. Good luck, kids. Straightforward questions. You want to keep asking like that? You think you could kick my ass? The fuck are you talking about? Are you threatening me? Yeah, education for all would be a great improvement. Illustrated by you. Illustrated by you. Perfect illustration. As you can see, it's all coming down to a big head, all right, and all you people want to live in fantasy land and lie in a mega accusation about other people going down point blank. You won't ruin this country anymore. Good luck. You're talking about the Republican Party? Yeah, I agree. The Republican Party needs to go. I 100% agree. I 100% agree. Hey, asshole. How do you feel about this? How do you feel about one of the biggest Republican stars having Nazis parade around his event with his flag and his name and his face? How do you feel about that? No? Not a peep? That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Trump and pillow face. That's funny. Yeah, so perfect illustrations as to why nobody should ever indulge conservatism whatsoever. Perfect examples, just back-to-back examples. Well, how is Ben Shapiro a bigot? All right. Gavin Newsom hopes California can become the epicenter of wind energy. California Governor Newsom announced on Friday a new set of plans to achieve the state's goal of reducing climate change, California by itself, by achieving carbon neutrality by 2045, including asking the California Energy Commission to plan or create at least 20 gigawatts of annual energy from offshore wind by then. That's a good idea. If the Golden State achieved it, it would be a leapfrog ahead of the East Coast counterparts such as Massachusetts and New York that have so far taken the lead in planned offshore wind development. In a letter sent Friday to the California Air Resource, Newsom asked the state regulatory agencies to develop plans for a variety of measures to reduce severity of climate change. California is in the midst of a climate crisis. I mean, yeah, everywhere is in the midst of a climate crisis, yes. Climate just doesn't happen in California. And drought, wildfire, and extreme heat have been becoming everyday realities. We are compelled to do more. Yes. Stop it. Extreme heat waves have already broiled the state and its neighbors this year. On Saturday, Palm Springs reached 114 degrees Fahrenheit, and Death Valley reached 122 degrees Fahrenheit. The rest of the West, California is suffering from a 20-year mega drought and has caused water levels into Colorado to drop to historic lows. I believe the clown earlier was talking about water levels. Yeah, it's because of climate change. not because of Democrats. Over the weekend, a wildfire near Yosemite National Park and its iconic giant sequoia trees consumed more than 16,700 acres and forced the evacuation of 3,000 residents and damaged or destroyed at least 15 properties. The state has already passed into law a mandate to cut its carbon emissions from 40% from 1990 levels by 2030 and achieve carbon neutrality by 2045. California also sets the nation's most stringent auto emission standards, and it has the second most home solar energy arrays per capita after Hawaii. California has among the highest gas prices in the nation. Still, Newsom wants CARB, which creates the comprehensive plan to reach its state emissions target, to include a number of specific approaches to ensure that California actually gets to where it wants to be, including technology that can reduce greenhouse gas emissions in homes. The governor set a goal of 3 million climate-ready and climate-friendly homes by 2030 and 7 million by 2035. Climate-ready refers to homes that are prepared to withstand extreme weather events that are becoming more prevalent due to climate change. Cool. I wish we had like a more ambitious plan across the country. But good on them. Newsom also wants 6 million heat pumps in California by 2030. Electric heat pumps and heat homes more efficiently than burning natural gas or use conventional air conditioning. Perhaps the most cutting-edge technology, Newsom wants to use carbon removal, which has only just begun to operate on anything resembling a large scale. The world's first commercial carbon removal plant opened in Iceland last fall. The factory sucks out carbon out of the air and stores it underground, a process that scientists say will be necessary for achieving carbon neutrality when emissions from certain sectors such as aviation and agriculture cannot be totally eliminated. Yep. TLDR, California is doing infinitely more than the federal government. Good on them. The happy, fluffy finale. Oh, well, that's cute. Where do I see my history? Ah, here we are. Jesus Christ. Oh, it's a freaking ad.
Is coming apart. Maybe it's because you're attacking the fundamental basis of Western civilization and pretending that you're not. Maybe it's because of that. So whenever I read stories like this, there's always a backlash that occurs from the left-wing types. Like, well, why are you even paying attention to this? Because it's on the front page of the New York Times website. That's why. So my favorite game that the left plays is they point out something that is radical, specifically because they hope to shift the debate. And when you notice, they're like, why are you even noticing?
So what's the radical part?
I'm noticing because you're doing it. That would be the reason why. And then you wonder why it feels like the country is coming apart at the seams.
Because assholes like you are responsible for it. So, like, Derek, how could you not see this?
That would be precisely the reason. And so Pete Buttigieg, yesterday, he was on State of the Union on CNN, And he says, we on the left, we're not starting the culture wars. So
No, he didn't say we on the left. Pete Buttigieg is not on the left.
Now the left is pushing through the House. They just pushed through the House with a bunch of Republican votes, a bill that gets rid of the Defense of Marriage Act and essentially enshrines in law Obergefell, which is the Supreme Court case saying that same-sex marriage is purely legally equivalent to heterosexual marriage in every single way.
Yes. Yes, it is. Two people getting married are two people getting married. Two people getting married are two people getting married. That's literally the equivalent. They should be legally the same. So yes, Derek, Ben Shapiro is a fucking bigot.
It goes a little bit further than that.
He doesn't explain how.
Actually, but again,
how
it essentially makes the law of the land that you are a bigot if you believe that heterosexual marriage is in any way different.
No, it doesn't. Do you see how he lies to you? It doesn't make it the law of the land that if you don't believe that same-sex marriage is equivalent makes you a bigot. No, it makes it the law of the land that both of these should be seen equally in the eyes of the government. Yes. Ben Shapiro would be nothing if the NYT didn't promote him as a cool kids philosopher. Yeah. But all he is a freaking clown.
Or superior to homosexual marriage. And people who just says, we're not declaring the culture war. No, you kind of are. You kind of are. And just because the left has been winning the culture war doesn't mean that if you continue to push, that you're going to continue to win the culture war. Everybody is pretty tolerant up until the time you start suggesting that they get to teach your kid, that you get to teach their kid.
And well, watch the pivot. The whole point of the idea of the Congress pushing, the Congress making the bill is so that people have equal rights. Equal rights. That's the whole idea. That's the goal. In the eyes of the government, if two people are married, period. Full stop. Doesn't matter if it's a man and a woman or man, a person who identifies as non-binary or transgender with a man or woman, whatever it is. If it's two people, two adults that are getting married and applying for a marriage license or whatever, under the eyes of the government, it's all equal. They all should be equally protected. Okay? But Ben doesn't believe in that. Because Ben's a bigot. And this is only 1 minute and 30 seconds in, Derek. So this one is really quick. Russia to drop out of the International Space Station. Russia will pull out of the International Space Station after 2024 and focus on building its own orbiting outpost. Okay. The announcement, while not unexpected, throws into question the future of the 24-year-old space station, with experts saying it would be extremely difficult, perhaps a nightmare by one reckoning, to keep it running without the Russians. Damn. NASA and its partner had hoped to continue operating until 2030. The decision to leave the station after 2024 has been made. I think by that time we'll start forming a Russian orbiting station. Damn. Well, that's a shame. The space station has long been a symbol of post-Cold War international teamwork in the name of science, but is now one of the last areas of cooperation between the US and the Kremlin. NASA had no immediate comment. The U.S. State Department spokesman Ned Price called the announcement an unfortunate development given the valuable professional collaboration our space agencies have had over years. The National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby said the U.S. is exploring options for dealing with the Russian withdrawal. Well, that sucks. The US has a law against working with China in space? Really? At least one person is dead in historic St. Louis rainfall as cars are stranded on the flooded streets and residents flee home. Louisiana. At least one person was killed when historic rainfall dumped more than 8 inches of rain on St. Louis. Oh, the Wolf Amendment from 2011? Gotcha. Thunderstorms in Missouri developed overnight Monday through Tuesday, leading to widespread flash flooding that left St. Louis motorists stranded and residents fleeing their homes. This is another, just another casualty of climate change. Things like this will be, are becoming the norm. And as long as conservatism is around, as long as conservatives have any kind of power, nothing will be, nothing has even a remote chance of doing anything. The Wolf Amendment. Huh. In 2011, Representative Frank Wolf introduced what is now a Republican, of course, what is now commonly referred to as the Wolf Amendment to the annual Commerce, Justice, and Science Appropriations Bill. This amendment limits U.S. government agencies such as NASA from working with Chinese commercial or government agencies. Although Representative Wolf retired in 2014, the amendment has perpetuated and continues to be included in the annual CGS Appropriations Bill. But the amendment does not prohibit all collaborations between the two countries. The result has been proven to be a significant hindrance to bilateral civil space projects. Keeping the Wolf Amendment language is in every sense a bad idea, does nothing to promote human rights, and it hands China an opportunity to challenge NASA's leadership in civil space exploration. Cool. Alright, folks, it is getting close to that time. I've got a few things to do. I've got a few things to do, so I'm gonna head out. I appreciate you guys being here on this occasion. I really do appreciate all the birthday wishes. I'm gonna thank each and every single one of you that have supported this channel today. Starting with Mayhem Hippie with the 5 tier 1 subs, and following it up with a 1,000 biddies. Alio with the tier 1 sub, which, by the way, folks, go to twitch.tv/AlioShare. Go give them a follow. You know the you know the drill. Jared Cardenas with a tier 1 sub, with a tier 1 prime sub. Thank you guys so much for all the support. You guys are what makes this channel grow. Folks, if you enjoy the content, don't forget to hit the follow button. It really does help us out. Don't forget to head on over to the YouTube channel hit the subscribe button. All right? Hit the sub button. Takes 5 seconds. All right? Join the Discord if you want to keep up with the channel. Any updates to follow along. Those of you that have joined today was a very special day, and I appreciate you guys for hanging out. Thank you, Heat, for hanging. I appreciate that. Thank you. The Simulacra, Astro, Echo Resto Dragon, Alio, Maple Leaf Dragon, James Napper Tandy, I appreciate you guys. Jared Cardenas, I see you wonderful folks in chat. I appreciate it. Nowhere Man, Miguel, the myth, the man, the myth, the legend himself. Thank you. I appreciate that. Call me after stream. Okay. Well, let me eat first, all right? Can I eat first? Is that okay? Thanks for the shout out. No problem. All right, folks. As always, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I love you all, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Yeah, it's a great song, right? No one, I have no idea who wrote this song. All right, folks, we're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See ya.